Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bulk Crew podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, Mario Heron talking Charger football with you as we get ready for the NFL draft. 2 weeks from today, we're going to have the NFL draft. It will finally be here. It's one of those like you kind of look forward to, Christmas when you're a kid and you start counting the days down. But at the same time, when it's over, you're like, all right, now what do we do? You kind of want to see what the guys look like when they show up to OTAs and everything that comes with it. But it's kind of the game of the dream list of what you think could possibly happen. It's always the same feeling, I think, for almost every NFL fan base where you have a guy in your mind you want the team to get. And when they don't get that guy, it really bothers you, especially if they go to a team inside your division. But there's a ton of talk with this draft, even maybe more so, guys, than any other year I can remember. I mean, last year was loaded with talent that everybody remembered. And this year, there's probably about 3 or 4 guys that the average football fan that follows, college football casually will say, I know that guy, whether it's a Travis Hunter, a Cam Ward, a Shador Sanders, a Genty, we go, I know all 4 of those guys. But then how many of you have watched, Abdul Carter in a bunch of Penn State games, or we like Tyler Warren? So you sit there and you go through this draft, and after about 8 picks, there are going to be a lot of guys taken that the average football fan, honestly, I believe, won't know who they are, but you're going to start doing a ton of reading on them once your team drafts them. Overall, how excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10 with this year's draft?
10. I'm a 10, and the reason why I'm a 10 is because Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh have made it a 10. They've made it very clear that they're putting all their eggs in one basket with this draft. And that's the way that they're going to do it. And I respect it until it fails. And they did really great in the draft last year. So I have no reason to believe they're not going to do really great this year. I'm really interested, Mario, what we do in rounds 2, 3, and 4 as I am in round 1, because I really believe that Joe Ortiz can find a diamond in the rough just like he did last year.
That's what I'm most excited for, right? Is what diamond do we kind of find buried deep below that no one's ever, even seen. That's the most exciting part of the draft. It's the overreaction to it. It's kind of like when you get a Christmas gift and it's like, hey, we got this, Rolex for you, but it's coming in about 2 months. And you know what I mean? Like, that's pretty much like what the NFL draft is, because you draft these guys and you're excited and you can't wait to see them play. And they're going, I still got to wait a couple months for training camp, for the preseason, for the regular season to get started. But I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see what happens. And, we're in the final 2-week period where guys are going to get overhyped, guys are going to get underhyped, crazy rumors are going to start. Maybe we see someone hitting a little bit of a GB, maybe for a little bit too long. Maybe that gets on Twitter. I'm all for it. Show us that you got some good lungs, Dave. That's what you were doing last night.
So here's the deal. When you have
fish fillets.
When you have all these guys, the fish fillet sandwiches tomorrow is my day. When you have all these guys, by the way, that are making their draft predictions, and I always said this, maybe I'm too lazy to do it, but you can literally start up your own, college football draft. And again, you aren't getting penalized for being wrong, right? As they say in sports radio all the time, they aren't paying you to be right; they're paying you to have an opinion. But you can sit there and create like whatever Walter Football did, or Our Lads, or even a guy like Mel Kiper, and people will sit there and come to your site to watch your mock draft every year. Next thing you know, you're doing appearances on a bunch of shows. And why do you see this team taking that? Doesn't mean you're going to be right. And the guy we rip all the time on this show is Mel Kiper. We rip Mel all the time because he's the most famous mock draft guy. And Mel Kiper for years has been terrible at it. I mean, for years, Todd McShay did much better than Mel Kiper did on ESPN. But when it came time for cutbacks, McShay was the one they showed the door to, yet they kept Kiper. So Kiper comes out with his final mock draft again. Okay, so Mario, I'm going to let you lead this thing a little bit. On Kiper's mock draft, let's start with his top. Let's go top 10, and then we'll go to the Chargers.
Okay. So, as you said, Mel Kiper probably eating his 10th piece of pumpkin pie that day, comes out this final mock draft. He starts it out, Cam Ward going 1, not that surprising. Travis Hunter at 2. I'll go 5 and then 5. How about that?
Okay, real quick, I'm going to stop you right now, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Travis Hunter makes the most sense for Cleveland, in my opinion. All right, at the same time, if you look at Cleveland's needs, Travis Hunter isn't considered one of their needs in that position. Supposedly Cleveland likes their defensive backfield, and you'd think they'd go in another spot. Is this a situation where you're taking the best player available already at number 2?
I mean, I'll go ahead. I think so. I think it's just you go. This guy is a unicorn. He's playing both sides of the football. He's one of the best players we've seen in all of college football. Dominated, set multiple records. And I think if you're Cleveland, you realize that this Deshaun Watson situation was an absolute mess. But is the quarterback talent that will be left good enough to go and waste a top 2 pick on it? Is it? And I was actually talking to a guy this morning, Josh, and he asked a question, and I thought it was a pretty interesting one. Because if you're the Browns or the Giants, do you call Tennessee and offer the house and go, Cam Ward's the only one that's proven. Let's do anything we can to get him. And you can convince Tennessee that, hey, you want to wait it out. Archie Manning's next year. More talent's coming. You don't want this guy.
It's a tough question. If you believe like he is the guy, then go for it, I would say. I don't know if he's a generational talent like Andrew Luck or, one of these top picks where everybody knows he's going to be the next coming. He's not like that to me. To me, he's just the best quarterback available in this draft. I would not give up the house for him, especially a team like the Cleveland Browns that has so many holes in their roster. I don't think it's worth it. But if you have the scouting department that you believe in, and if you're the Browns, you shouldn't, that he's the best quarterback of the next 10 years, you're going to lead us for 10 years, then do it. I don't see it that way. I don't know if either one of you sees it that way too.
All right. So in my opinion, I always thought Tennessee should have traded this pick anyway. I mean, a couple of reasons is Tennessee has a little bit of time. They have a head coach that's in his second year. Doesn't mean you aren't going to fire him. We've seen coaches be removed quicker than that. That being said, there are people who, they talk to GMs and they go, how many teams could have so much success in the draft that they could become a playoff team instantly? Tennessee is actually listed in that group. Now, I don't think Tennessee is a playoff team no matter what they do in the draft. They have so many holes on that roster. It means to me, the best way to fix it is to get as many draft picks and high draft picks as quick as possible. So Cam Ward's not leading the Titans to me to the postseason. The other thing is, and I don't know the answer to this, maybe Josh knows because he lives in Nashville most of the time. When is that new stadium supposed to be ready, Josh?
2026, I believe.
Okay, perfect. This is why if you're Tennessee, you make the deal right now. Okay. If somebody loves Cam Ward and all it takes is one team to say, we absolutely love this guy and we believe in him to be the difference in our franchise, that you go ahead and you make that move. And I can sit there and say Cleveland needs a quarterback right now. New York, though, we've talked about, it would be foolish to draft a quarterback for them because their head coach and GM will be out of a job unless they have at least a 9-8 record this year. Patriots don't need a quarterback at number 4. Jags could be looking for a quarterback. Is Trevor Lawrence the guy? And here's the next one, too, that I think honestly is where's your best chance to make a trade. If you're the Titans, you can make a deal with the New York Jets or the Raiders at number 6 and say, you know what, let's go. Give me the house. And if you're the Titans, you can end up with multiple number 1s, multiple number 2s, multiple number 3s, and you could parlay that into possibly getting Arch Manning next year. And if somebody says Arch Manning's Andrew Luck and we aren't trading him, you still can fill a ton of roster spots on your team to be good for 10 years and not just hope that you're good for 1 year. I don't know. Am I crazy?
I don't think you're that crazy for it, especially because, like you said, what's the rush if you're the Titans? And your division's terrible, too. It's like you can run back Will Levis, who's god-awful, but you could run him back, and you're not completely out of it. Like the Colts are going to be a lot worse. They're saying they're bringing competition in the QB room. Yeah, my ass.
Yeah.
That's still going to be terrible. The Texans proved this past year that CJ Stroud's not invincible. They took a step back. They had to fire an offense coordinator, go get a new one. The Jags just had to get a new head coach. Trevor Lawrence isn't the guy. That team's kind of in a weird spot. They're entering purgatory land. So like the Titans, you can afford to kind of have another crappy year. You can afford to kind of just roll the dice. Where like if you're the Browns, if you're the Giants, hell, like even the Raiders out throwing there, maybe even the Jets, like you can't really afford another just roll the dice type of season. Like I know the Jets got Justin Fields, but we all know that's not a long-term thing. We know the Raiders have Geno Smith. We all know that's not a long-term thing. And if you're Cleveland and New York, you also have, 2 coaches and 2 GMs that, holy hell, that seat's hot. It's on freaking fire on a volcano. It's like my butt after I eat some like Mexican food. I go really in on it, Josh, and it's just, you can feel the heat coming.
Told you.
That hot, huh?
Every show.
That's really hot.
That hot. Dude, I've been, by the way, in a friend's place right now, not my own apartment, have some Wi-Fi issues. Really quickly, as soon as I walked in the door, let out a quick 3 farts that I'm not kidding you, would probably make you guys suffocate. It is. And so we've been spraying Febreze for about 15 minutes trying to get it out. Nothing? All right. Thanks, guys.
I'm
trying.
Dave was going to say something.
No,
I'll say something.
What have I always said, Josh? You mean the most classy people in DC. They come over, borrow your Wi-Fi, and they sit there and hotbox the place. I've said it for years.
Did it hotbox?
Insane.
Just some toots.
We should have mentioned this at the beginning of the show. We're changing up some stuff with our YouTube. So if you're on the Bolt Crew Pod YouTube channel and it's not live, it's because it's live on JP25 Media and our Twitter page. But after about a week, Mario, right, we should be good on our regular YouTube channel. Should have mentioned that earlier, but that's why. I'm sorry. I know you're going to see this later on, but that's why. All right, what do we got for the number 3 pick, Mario?
So 3 pick is Abdul Carter with the Giants.
Okay, doesn't sound crazy.
It does sound crazy. I guess the Giants are going to have the just most unreal young pass rushing core we will ever see, maybe, with Kayvon and him.
Kayvon's overrated. I'm sorry. Not a fan. Yeah, I'm also an Alabama fan. He hates Alabama. But I don't know. Maybe they're trying to replicate what they did when they won those Super Bowls, right? When they had like Justin Tuck and O.C. Umenyiora and all those guys. And Jason Pierre-Paul before he blew off his fingers. So I don't think it's crazy. I think Mel Kiper so far is doing great.
I do too.
Giants, by the way, if like I had to pick between them or Cleveland, I think they're going to be a little bit more friskier team in terms of trades. Like they're going to be like I could see them being the wild card of the draft, of being like, what the hell did they just do?
I could see that. Yeah, for sure.
God, I don't think the Giants can afford to do it. I think you have an owner who hates your GM, right? Your owner has to be furious still every day he wakes up, because we saw him walk in that office and say, I swear to God, if Barkley leaves, number one, not only does he leave, he goes to a rival and wins the Super Bowl, and everyone's saying he's, the best running back in the league and an MVP candidate, and Barkley couldn't have had a better scenario for him. But for the Giants, it was the worst thing to happen, and it was televised. I mean, you were completely embarrassed on television of how you handled the Saquon Barkley situation.
Yeah, it's not.
They got to go. Well. They got to go chalk to me. They just got to go with the player that everybody thinks they should get.
You think like just go safe?
Go safe.
Yeah,
you got to go the safest pick that you can justify to everybody.
Yeah, Abdul Carter. I think that's a great pick.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got next, Mario?
This is actually, I bet this with our good friend of the program, Ryan Horvat. Patriots go Will Campbell at 4, and then I'll just say the next one, Jags Mason Graham at 5.
What's your bet? What do you think happens?
I bet they Pats get Will Campbell. I think I don't think there's any receiver that's good enough to go at 4. I think taking Tyler Warren at 4 is kind of nuts. Variable wants to dominate the line of scrimmage, and Will Campbell's going to help do that.
I could see that 100%. I could see all this. I mean, I went a little off the board, and when I took Warren at 4 for the Patriots, and at the same time, Rabel was there when the Pats were good and winning Super Bowls, and they relied on their tight ends. But Mario, I think that's the way they're going to go. I think they're going to go offensive line. I think Will Campbell does go to the Patriots.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mario.
All right, so that's the top 5. I'll rattle through these 3, and then I have some takes on them. So Raiders, Kiper has Ashton Genty. Jets, he has Armand Membo. There's no way I said that right. Offensive tackle, Missouri. Sorry about that one, brother. Panthers, Jalen Walker, linebacker, Georgia. I actually really like that pick for Carolina. I think Genty falls. I don't think the Raiders take him at 6. I think if you take a running back that high, you have every other position figured out. guys, the Raiders don't have every other position figured out. Congratulations, you'll have the best running back in the class, but what are you going to do with him? To me, this screams Saquon Barkley on the Giants. You have a Toyota. I'm not Toyota. You have a really, really nice car surrounded by a bunch of Honda Civics from '03. Like, what are you going to do with that?
Let me ask you a question. Let's say he is Saquon Barkley, wouldn't you draft him? You know what I mean? Figure if we have Saquon Barkley, we can figure out the rest later. Obviously, the Giants didn't do that. But if you have a guy that's really as good as Saquon Barkley, wouldn't you draft him?
Not if I don't have assurances at any other position, though. Because how good were the New York Giants with Saquon Barkley? Like, what did that lead to? You know?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't lead to anything. I just know if you were to tell me before the draft, this guy right here is going to be as good as Saquon Barkley, I'd say, dude, I draft him. I don't know. That's the way I would look at it. Figure out the rest later. It's tomorrow's problems. I don't know. What do you think, Dave?
If I'm the Raiders, I take him. I'll take him for a couple of reasons. One is if you believe he's that good and has the ability or he's capable of being the best running back in the league, combined with the best tight end in the league. Look, when we talk about skill positions, you're selling merchandise, you're selling jerseys. One thing about the Raiders in Vegas, and ticket prices are through the roof, it is filled with teams from other fan bases. The Raiders need to do a better job of making that actual real home game. So if you sit there and you get stars that people pay attention to, look, offensive linemen are extremely important. We all know that, but most people follow the ball. They don't follow what happens line against line and to see how it breaks out. Those are true football fans. Those are coaches that follow the line. But for a regular fan base that sits there and gets together and they're eating their 50 chicken nuggets and they're eating, drinking 15 beers in 4 quarters, those guys are looking at the skilled positions. So if you're able to bring in what you think is a top running back that is, you hear him compared to a guy like LaDainian Tomlinson, bringing a running back like that, plus to go with Bowers, you're moving in the right direction as a franchise, I think.
All right, what do you got next?
So 9, Shedeur Sanders. Saints.
What's the team? Saints?
Saints.
And I think that actually happens.
Dude, so far, I hate to say it, Kiper to me is doing great. I hate to say it.
What Mario thinks he's not. What part do you think he's crazy on?
I don't think Shedeur goes to New Orleans at all.
What do you think he
Why
goes?
Is that?
I think he is a Pittsburgh Steeler. I think he's going to fall. I don't think anyone's going to want him. I think if you make it through the top 3 and no one's taking him, then what's the next team that really needs him? Like Pats don't, Jags won't, Raiders say Geno, New York says Justin, Carolina says Bryce, Saints say Carr, Bears Williams, Purdy, Dak, Tua. Like maybe the Colts at 14 decided to get a little weird and take him and go, we just need more quarterback, but I doubt it. Falcons, Penix, like Murray with the Cardinals. It goes on. Like all the way, you have Seahawks are covered with Darnold. Baker's on the Bucks, Joe Burrow on the Bengals, and then you fall all the way to 21. Pittsburgh literally doesn't have a quarterback signed on roster. Are they really going to wait for Aaron Rodgers to get off his shroom trip that he took about 2 months ago and not even sign anyone until training camp? I don't think so. I think it's a perfect system for Shedeur. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not reporting this. I wouldn't be surprised if Dion is even telling teams like, I want my kid in Pittsburgh because might be behind Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be with one of the best coaches in the NFL. I think that makes the most sense. I really, really do. Like I'm probably going to bet it that happening. And I really think we're going to see a fall and it's going to be, if I'm Shedeur, I'm pumped falling there.
If I'm Shedeur, I don't want to go to the Steelers. Mike Tomlin's a defensive coach. What has Mike Tomlin done with a bunch of these quarterbacks? Now, he had Big Ben, but Big Ben was kind of established before Mike Tomlin got there. If I'm Shedeur, and we're assuming trades aren't going to happen, if he falls that far down out of the top 10, I would not be surprised to see a team like the Rams step up and go, we're trading up to get him.
Dude,
an offensive guru guy.
Yeah, sorry for disagreeing with you so much today, Mario, but I tend to agree with Dave on I tend to agree with Dave on this one. If he does start falling, I can't see a team not trade up for him. Like they'll be like, oh my God, we have an opportunity here. And also, if you're the Jets and the Saints, how do you justify the players in the locker room looking at you and trusting you that you're going to make the right decisions for the team? We're going to run back Derek Carr? Are you kidding me? Derek Carr has put more receivers in the hospital than any quarterback in NFL history. We're going to run that guy back. And then Justin Fields, give me a break. And I know they brought him in because of Garrett Wilson, his connection. It's not college football. I don't know how you can justify not taking a guy there. Shedeur to me looks like a New Orleans Saint. I don't know. It's like I said, it's probably the same colors because of Colorado, but I don't know. The two guys that are interesting, you usually never see this in mock drafts. People either have him and T-Mac in the top 10 or falling to, 20 something. I'm really curious what happens with those two guys.
It's the craziest range where it's like you'll see Shedeur at like 2 or 3, and then you'll see him at like 21, 25. And you're like, dude, what is like if I was his agent, if I was him, I'd be like, can we just find like a middle ground? Like, should I be there?
How do you scout a quarterback that came from a lesser level competition, got to play for his dad, D1, had no offensive line, played well, had one of the best athletes we've ever seen in college football, didn't win? I mean, you have great things, you have terrible things. That's why I think it's so hard to scout him.
I mean, on top of that too, when you watch him and you watch like some of his bad plays, like are you like, oh, that's something that's gonna carry into the NFL, or is that because the whole D line just got into his face in 2 seconds and he was trying to make a play?
Exactly.
So it's tough. By the way, if he does go to New York Jets and like their O-line stinks and it's just like, can this guy get a break? You know what I mean? Like someone draft him as an O-line. All right, so do you want to just jump to the Chargers pick? Because I think this Chargers pick's horrendous that Kiper has.
Let's go to real quick. Go. Who do the Cowboys have? Cowboys are a team everybody's talking about it always.
Yeah, thank you. Because I actually really disagree with this one. Cowboys, Omarion Hampton.
They draft. Say that.
God, I hope Omarion Hampton does not go to the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys, but I like Hampton.
I think, once again, Mark, I think that could happen because some people think he's really close to Genty, and if he is, why would you not draft him if you're the Cowboys? You need a running back.
It's very much like the B. John Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs that we had a couple years back. I could see it. I just think they go receiver. I think that's where Tate goes.
Is the Dallas. T-Mac?
Yeah, I think that's where he ends up falling towards. Or like, I wouldn't be surprised here if Dallas gets aggressive and like big old Jerry is on set of whatever that show on Landman, and he's like, Genty's kind of nice. Like that seems like a move that would be made as he trades in the top 10 against Genty.
Dude, I could totally see Jerry Jones trading up. How many more years does he have to live? He's going to say, dude, I need to make a move here. They can worry about the team sucking after I die. I'm old.
Yeah.
Got to see something.
Also, like
the Padres, their owner was had cancer and he started giving up all of his money for the best players.
Also, that's a team, Dave, where like I was talking about the running back thing. Like that makes sense. Like they have a lot of pieces. They just haven't put it together.
No, for a long time. No. So real quick, Tyler Warren, you passed him. Where's he going?
Tyler Warren, Chicago.
Okay.
What pick?
10.
Okay, so Bears fans, will they like that, or will they say we have Cole Kmet? What are we doing?
Cole Kmet's a hometown kid, but holy dude, he'd be see you later, dude. Good luck. Congratulations. You are a New Orleans Saint. Like that boy's getting on the trading block quick.
All right, let's play the game. Let's play the game. If you're the Chargers, would you trade for him?
Trade all the way up?
No, trade for Kmet.
For like a 6-rounder.
Okay.
I don't think Cole Kmet's fine. I'm not trading. 6th round. I'm not trading much.
Okay.
And I think the Chargers are going to take a tight end in this draft.
If they do, not according to Kiper.
Dude, if the Chargers don't take one of these 7 tight ends, then I don't know what to say to you. It wouldn't make any sense.
Okay.
7. There's 7 tight ends in this draft that they say could be rookie starters.
I also don't think the Bears do that either, though. I think they go O-line and D-line there. If Genty's not there, I think it's D-line or O-line.
I could see them taking Hampton at the 10th pick.
I mean, Ben Johnson, he was there when,
the dual running backs.
Did PFF had for this? Did I tell you this already? I told like 8 people. I can't remember who I told. They had Chicago trading up to 2 and getting Abdul Carter.
Well,
They're not that close to make that move.
No, they're not that. I thought the same thing. Like, brother, the nuts aren't that big in Chicago.
I think if the Bears traded up, honestly, I think Will Campbell would be the guy they would trade up for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, who do the Chargers get?
All right. So the Chargers in this get Gray Zabel.
He's available.
Guard center from North Dakota State.
Jesus.
Let's just get raw reaction here, fellas. So I'll start with you, Josh. What do you think?
I think he's high. If the Chargers take North Dakota center with the first round pick, dude, I'm gonna start squatting in homes. I'm just gonna take off. I can't do this anymore. It's not gonna happen. If they do that and there's guys we want on the board, which there will be at that pick, I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna start cussing. We're gonna lose our monetization on the channel. It's gonna be bad. I'm gonna be super pissed.
Dude, I'm with you. I'm with Josh on this. I mean, like that will frustrate me a lot. Like going, what the hell? You know? We're gonna sit there and just straight out, we can nickname him now. Gray F and Zabel. Why did we take him at number 22?
We just brought in a center from the Raiders. We got 2 centers on the roster.
I think this guy half-assed it, man. I'm telling you, some of these guys, and this is his only damn job. I don't know how he doesn't pay attention to all 32 teams. It's one of those where, you know, Los Angeles is so far away. I'm going to half-ass this pick. He didn't do his homework. This is what makes Kiper Kiper.
Dude, this is the MLB. I know it's football, but this is MLB Network based out of New Jersey. They can't talk about the Giants or the Padres or the Dodgers because they don't stay up to watch the games. All these insiders they have no idea what they're talking about. This is a joke. I'm actually curious. Do you think that's the worst pick Mel Kiper has? Because you said it's bad. Does he have some other bad ones in there?
I think there's a worse one in here actually.
Who is it?
I think it's they're in the same city, but I think him having the Rams take Jackson Dart is insanity.
I think Dave said that's going to happen.
I think the Rams are going to grab a quarterback. I do. I think the Rams will grab either if they can get Shedeur Sanders or Jackson Dart. I think they grab a quarterback. And you can thank Matthew Stafford's wife.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite bets for the draft is actually the under 2.5 quarterbacks drafted in the first round, because I think, like I said earlier, I think Shedeur is going to fall to the Steelers, and I think that Jackson Dart, there's just, I think 0.0% chance of him getting drafted in the first round. Like I don't know why, guys. The Florida game, I mean, not the Florida game, the Kentucky game is ringing in my head of when he's given opportunity after opportunity to blow it. He's in a Lane Kiffin offense, and yet they still don't rack up wins. They still don't even make the college football playoff. There's still questions about him as a quarterback in the most quarterback-friendly system in all of college football. I don't see him going in the first round or anyone taking a risk on it. Maybe a second or a third round, I think it could be a great pickup for a team and just roll the dice and see where we go. But I maybe 2 quarterbacks drafted in the first round, I think, say very, very solid look. And it's plus a little moolah. And let me tell you something. If that hits, we're door dashing all week long, baby. We're never leaving the couch.
Now, isn't the knock on Jackson Dart that he's extremely accurate, but he doesn't have the NFL cannon arm?
Yeah, I mean, the ball died. Like, I heard someone say yesterday that we had on there, like, the ball dies in the air. And that just doesn't translate well in the NFL.
Yeah, is that bad? Is that a bad thing?
Chad Pennington's like, he's fine. He's fine. You don't need to throw an out pass. You're fine.
Where does Colston Loveland go in this mock draft?
So this is where, if you want to talk about a team that could absolutely bend us over and just, you know.
You're say the Broncos or Chiefs?
I'm going to say the Colts.
Oh, how does that bend us over?
Because the Colts are right now, they're favored to take a tight end, and a lot of mocks have them going tight end, and they would take Loveland at 14.
That's fine by me. I think the Colts are an absolute joke of a franchise from a joke of a city. I'm just kidding, but I do think the Colts. Are
sucks.
Joke of a franchise. If he went to a team that I actually care about, like the Broncos or Chiefs, I'd be upset. But to me, the Colts are just a non-factor, even though they're in the AFC.
The Colts are a mess because obviously you have bad ownership, and at the same time you have a quarterback in Anthony Richardson that was a huge gamble that has obviously proven to fail. I mean, I don't know what they do. I'm not worried about the Colts. When I think about teams that get in the way of the Chargers trying to reach their goals, I don't think about Indianapolis.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson's going to be Justin Herbert's backup in 3 years when Trey Lance is out of the league.
Yeah.
I just want Colson Loveland that bad, and I think, God, if they take him away, I'm going to be pissed. That's the thing. I want a wild card. Chris Ballard goes, I'm going to take Shador if he's still there.
What if T-Mac also Chargers?
Yeah, I mean, the Colts need to make a decision about Anthony Richardson sooner than later. I mean, it's you should know by
over.
Now.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah. I mean, it's a huge mistake. I mean, it happens all the time in the NFL. You think you have the quarterback, you don't. The quicker you can make your mistake and move forward is the best chance you have to fix your franchise. What are you doing?
It's not good. What about T-Mac? Do you want him, Dave, if he falls?
Yeah, again, I tell you, there's only one guy that, and I don't want Mel Kiper's pick for the Chargers. I don't want Gray Zabel. But overall, there's one guy that I really want. I want Tyler Warren is who I want. I mean, he's my guy. Everything else, I told you, I trust Ortiz right now. I have faith in what the Chargers are doing. I think they go offensive line guys, though. Again, I'm not going to be surprised when they go offensive line.
They're favored right now to go D-line.
Yeah, none of that would shock me. But I honestly, none of it would surprise me. Again, you aren't selling jerseys, but I don't think Harbaugh gives a crap about that. He's looking to put together something that guys can either protect the quarterback or get to the quarterback.
Just, boy, do we need a wideout in that second round or a tight end or something.
We need a lot, dude. We need a lot.
Uh-huh.
You know, we have a Dave rant before we get out of here.
Yeah, I'll give you a rant. I'll give you 2 rants right now. Mel Kiper, dude, I'm so tired of talking of ESPN talking about how great Mel Kiper's hair is. Dude, at one time Mel Kiper had great hair. He doesn't have great hair right now. I don't know what the ESPN's looking at. I mean, it's ridiculous and embarrassing when they sit there and talk about, he's the greatest head of hair of, this side of the Mississippi. Dude, he doesn't. I got news for you. He doesn't look that good. Look at Mel Kiper's hair. It's falling out. It's thin, and maybe you should be a little bit concerned because if that's what you used to be known for and you can't do it anymore, I'm sorry, but Mel Kiper's hair is way overrated. 2, the other day I'm in a huge rush to get to where I needed to be back to do a show, and I'm at a red light. I'm in the left turn lane, all right, waiting for the green arrow, and the car in front of me is 10 yards before the light will pick up. There's a car there, and the car to the right of me, who's also in the left turn lane, is 20 yards back, will not pull up. So I'm like in a huge rush to get home, and I'm going, come on, let's go. And the light turns. Guess what? Green arrow. And I'm honking my horn, and I'm flashing my lights, and I'm like, dude, pull up. Scoot up. One of you have to scoot up so it registers. And then sure enough, here comes a second light. No green arrow. Nobody pulls up.
Wow.
So finally, I get out of my car. 3 times it happened. I get out of my car.
Wait, what?
I get out of my car. Someone told me I'm not allowed to get out of my car in traffic. I don't know if that's a law or not, but they said you can't get out of your car. I sure did get out of my car, and the guy had one of those, excuse the wrong term, handicap placard. I don't know what the hell it's called, but he had a placard hanging from the mirror. So he has issues. Didn't matter. I was pissed, dude. I got out and I screamed at him, "Pull the F up! None of us are moving because of you." And then I went to the other car and I said, "What the F are you doing? Wake the F up! Pull up! You guys are looking in the rearview mirror. Look at all these goddamn cars behind us. It's all because of you mother effers." I lose my mind. They don't say a word. Neither one say a word. I get back in my truck. Guess what? The light turned green as soon as they pulled up. And then I made my left turn. There's 3 lanes we turned into. I got in the middle lane. I just rolled down the windows and double birded both of them and shot down the road. But dude, it was ridiculous. Put it this way: there was 7:40 remaining in the Laker game when I was at the light. By the time I got home, there was a minute 31 left, and it was only a 1.5 mile drive because of these guys. You know how hard that is to waste all that time in an NBA game. And by the way, there's a Luka technical foul, and there was a Jared Vanderbilt technical foul, and a million timeouts, and it still took me that long to go that far because these guys wouldn't pull up and get their cards registered by the light. Who drives like that? What the hell's wrong with people? Damn it,
dude! I'm all for taking like older people's licenses away, and I know that's an unpopular opinion, but if you have I'm not even joking. If you have the handicap thing on your car, and I'm a cop, and it's like this guy shouldn't be on the road, take it away, dude. It's a danger to everyone else. This happens all the time. They're driving below the speed limit. They're in the wrong lane. They don't know when to turn. They don't know when to put their signal on. For the safety of everybody else. Like, I'm sorry if that's your grandmother or grandfather, but dude, you're killing us out here.
Yeah, hold on one second. Go ahead.
No, that is a problem too. Like sometimes old people, they don't check when they move lanes either, and they come in hot at you, and you're just like, dude, you cause a wreck.
I'm looking at Dylan Campbell's comments right here. Mel Kiper's a future GM of what? He could be a GM of a 7-Eleven. What are you talking
GM of a
about?
Cinnabon.
Yeah, what? Dude, Dylan, you're wrong. And Mel Kiper's getting old. No one's offering him a job. He's insane. Good God.
Must be his burner account. There's no way.
Yeah.
Is
that Mel Kiper?
nephew.
Yeah, what the hell's going on here? Damn it. Got a lot of problems. What can I tell you? All right. That's it. That's all I got. All right. So we'll be back next week. We're going to knock out a couple shows, of course. Again, you want to explain the YouTube situation?
Oh, yeah. So we're just transitioning some ownership of the YouTube, and we finally got it, to work. With that, it's going to take a little bit for us to go live on YouTube. So some of these next shows will be pre-recorded, but we'll be live on Twitter. That you can follow us at Bolt Crew on Twitter. It's just going to be for a week, and then we'll be back to doing lives on YouTube. So sorry about this inconvenience, guys, but I had to do the transition. We got it under control. And yeah, we'll be good to go. So thanks you guys so much for listening. Make sure you like, share, subscribe as always. Follow us on Twitter. And the pod will also be available anywhere you get your podcasts as well. So just in case if you're in the car and you want to do it on Spotify, little Apple Music, little Amazon Music, and I don't know, Butthole Music, we're probably on there too.
All right. So for Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you next week, everybody.